Alright guys, this is the bird I shot this morning. It's my YouTube hunt. I think I'm going to name it the Lockdown Gobbler and Redemption, because the Lockdown Gobbler I didn't get, and this is my redemption. So I had a comment in the comments the other day on a hunt I done about possibly doing a field dressing a turkey. Not really field dressing, cleaning it out. The thing of it is with wild turkeys, there's not a lot to them. I mean, what I keep, the breast meat and the thighs. By the time you take all the feathers and the skin off the wings, it's just not worth it. And the drumsticks have them little tendons running through them, and there's just not a lot of meat. So I'm going to show you the quick version of what I do when I get a turkey, how I go about doing it. And first thing you want to do is remove the tag. Set that aside, because that will have to be turned into the Game Commission to report it. So I'm just going to set that right there. It's probably going to blow away. And one of the first things I do is I lay it on its back, and I blow this one up pretty good. But I take the beard, and it's got probably a 9 or 10 inch beard. I'll get it measured sooner or later. But right down at the bottom of the long hairs, up in the meat a little bit, just take your knife, cut the beard off, and that comes right off. But what I do is just lay the bird on its back, and there's not a lot to these. Their skin tears really easy. This bird has done quite a bit of breeding because his feathers are all off right here. And when a turkey breeds, they wear the feathers off from riding on that hen right there. But he don't have a lot of breast meat. But what I do is I take my knife and I just pull the skin up and I just put a little slit in it. I don't go very deep. I just bust the skin. And if you just bust the skin, then you can just put a finger in, and it's really basic. You just take and you pull the meat, you pull the skin right off of it, just like that. I mean, it's not much to it. And as you can tell already, that breast is completely exposed. And I'm doing this on my nasty old picnic table, and I can hose it off later and stuff. But that's just exposing the breast. And the thighs, if you look right here, I mean, they're pretty much exposed too. And I pull the feathers down, bust them away from the leg a little bit. But the big thing with the breast, you got the breastbone right here. Just take your knife right along the edge of the breastbone. Like this bird's really he's been running. You take that and you separate, and you go right down around the breastbone. And what you do is you just take that and you slide it right along where the breastbone comes down. And you should never get into the guts on this way. You peel them down like that. Now I'm down to the tender. What some of you know as chicken tenders, this is a turkey tender. And you just keep peeling it off right down around the rib cage until you have this breast completely released. And this crop right here, you can take the crop, put your finger in there, and you can slide that crop up out of the way. I know this is a little bit nasty. And his crop is empty, so he went on a roost. He must have been pretty hungry when he went on a roost. And you just take this right down along the wishbone. You can feel the wishbone there, and you just keep peeling the breast meat apart until you get down here where it starts to slide off. And you might get a little bit of blood here, but you shouldn't really get any guts. And you just keep working it right around. See, I got it all released on against the breastbone all the way down through there now. So you take it in the other side and just make sure your skin's pulled away. And there's the tenderloin that already just came out. And somewhere I got a bag to put all this meat in, and we'll wash it up in the sink to clean out any feathers that are on it, any BBs, any dirt that gets on it. So you just keep working it until it's loose. And once it's loose, you will have just a really good solid chunk of meat left. Got one spot. There it is. One turkey breast right there. It's, like I said, I got to clean it up and stuff, but it's a good sized chunk of meat. And while I have the bird on this side, what I do here is I just cut around where the drumstick's at, just to loosen up the thigh meat. And then I pull the thigh away from the body a little bit, and then I take my knife and I just slide it right down the bone to separate the thigh bone from the meat. And just work yourself right around the bone. And then all you're doing is trying to separate that meat from the bone. That's it. And I don't have a cameraman with me, so I'm trying to run 2 cameras. And once you loosen that up, you will go right around the bone and then just go right down and just keep working it off right toward its back until the meat pops right out. And there's not a lot of meat on a turkey thigh. It's really dark. If you cook it right, it's very tasty. But you just remove any skin and feathers that might be stuck to it. And here's your thigh. And that's all the meat. So, and what you do with that, you just take the other side, you reverse the process. You take this side off and this thigh, and you're done. And when we get inside, I'll show you a little trick that I do to kind of clean it up. I let it soak a little bit, but we'll touch on base on that. Let me just pop the other side of this out, and we'll get to the point where we go in the house and we'll get some water on it and clean stuff off, and I'll show you what I do before I finally take it and either cook it to eat, which I might do a video on what I do when I cook these, and or put it in the freezer. So hang in there, we'll be right in the kitchen. Alright, we made it back in the house, and unfortunately I have sunlight coming through here. What you do is you want to turn your cold water on. I do it in my sink. My wife gives me permission to do that. Some of you guys I know probably, or some of you ladies might not think that's cool, or some of you guys might not think it's cool. But you're going to see there's feathers. This one's the one that's bloodshot up pretty good. I'm going to show you a little secret how to pull BBs out of it and the feathers. But what you want to do is you want to get it in the cold water as quick as you can. It's been about 2 hours since I've shot this bird. I put it on spray, and you can see the feathers right here. And you just start pulling out like any, there's like a little slime that comes on them. It's part of the meat. It's actually part of the coating of the meat. And you take all that off, and any feathers you can get, you pull them off. And once you get that done, I'll show you kind of real quick what one looks like. And you're going to look at it and say, man, that's not that clean, because you see a lot of feathers. But I have a little secret that I do, and it helps loosen them feathers up a little bit, because it's going to stick tight. And you want to pull all the fat off. On a wild turkey, that fat right there, not that tasty. But you get it all cleaned up like that, and I can see some spots where I'm going to have to check for BBs, and I'll show you what I do for BBs here in a second. But you want to get a dish, a pan or a dish. I use these plastic Tupperware Glad Jobbers. And you just keep going like that. You do that with the tenderloins. You pull anything off you might see. And you can see, I don't know if you can see that very good or not, but there's some bloodshot in it. You can see this one here. There's a lot of bloodshot in this one right here. And that's going to take a while. But you see, a lot of that just pulled off. So a lot of it's not down in the meat. And I'm just going to clean this one up here for you can kind of see what I'm doing. But if you take a look at this piece of meat right here, you can see a big dark spot. And that's where BBs went through. What I do, I try to go in the side the BB went in, and you look and you can see a little hole right there where a BB went in. What I do is I make a slit in the meat. When you make a slit in the meat, you get it under the water, and generally, sometimes the BBs pull straight through, but if you look right there, the BBs, when they go into the meat, it pushes feathers into the meat, and it leaves a dark spot in the meat. So what you got to do is you got to cut each one of them little spots open. Here's another one right here. You got to cut those spots open, and you get the any feathers that might have got pushed in there. And of course, you want to look for BBs. We got her pretty much cleaned up. I got them in this bowl, and now what I'm going to do is just take this and top this bowl off with cool water to get the bird temperature down a little bit. And if I can find it here, just a little bit of table salt I sprinkle over top of it. And what that does, that helps draw the blood out of the meat. And I'm going to cap this off. and it's ready to sit for a while. Now if you're at home like I am here, I'm going to put it in my refrigerator, and I can leave this like this for a day, and probably tomorrow will be Saturday, I will take this out, I'll put it back in the sink, I'll make sure anything it's drawn out of it, any little spots of feathers, I'll clean them all up. And then what you want to do, see how I'm soaking this, once you get that cleaned up, you take paper towels and really dry it off, put it right in Ziplocs, put it in the freezer, or you can use your, we have a meal saver thing you seal them up with, and that works great. Or you can get them right ready for the grill. So I hope that helped out a little bit. There's really nothing to it. I think part of the big thing is cleaning deer and any game is to know how they're put together. If you know how they're put together, you know where you can separate meats and stuff and different muscle groups. And one thing I will tell you, do not ever leave the sink looking like that, or that'll be the last time you do anything like that in the house. Now, get this cleaned out, get the little bleach stuff and spray it and disinfect it. But I'm just going to slide this bird here right in the refrigerator. And like I said, tomorrow, take it out, clean it up a little bit, pull anything that's out of it, dry it off, put it in bags. Hey man, until next time, I hope this helped you out. God bless you. Take care of yourself.